You know me under the name Elena Danaan, which is my true legal name, in this temporary human incarnation on this planet that you call Earth. The true, clear, and transparent story of my life in this incarnation is thoroughly detailed on my website at elenadanaan.org/about. But of course, Elena Danaan is not the first name I bore all through my long journey since I first incarnated into human consciousness some million years ago regarding Earth, linear value of time in the galaxy Aldebaran NGC 7331 in the Pegasus galactic cluster, and my home star system is named Altea. My journey is dedicated to the study of human evolution throughout the universe, embracing and learning all the emotions of human consciousness. I chose to explore humanity by physically incarnating a million times, millions of times, in what you call the past and in what you call the future. I have lived many lives in the past of planet Earth, and to bring you today the knowledge of what was hidden from you by the Dark Ones. But I also come from the future. Before returning to Earth, I incarnated 300 years ahead into your linear future in the star system Ashara in the Pleiades. This decision allowed me to enroll into the Envoy program. So this is why I come from your future. You know, this universe is infinite. It is an infinite compound of bubbles of universes. Each one is a different dimension, which has its own physical laws and ranges of frequencies, of matter and of consciousness. If you want to have a clear understanding of the big picture, visualize the flower of life, considering that it is not a flat geometrical representation, but a spherical one. And each circle is in truth a bubble, which is a universe, overlapping with neighboring universes or dimensions. And in between the bubbles is the void, where the 9 supraplasmic consciousnesses exist. The glue that bounds all these bubbles together is a frequency named love. And love is not only a number on a frequency range, it is a sacred geometry. It is consciousness. It is light. It vibrates at the same frequency rate as quartz. This is why quartz holds a power that has been hidden from you for a very long time. And as such is also the power of love. At the center of everything is Creator Source. And she is she in her highest conscious essence, and dual in her active aspect. From one comes two. Source fractals itself into all of her creation, and every consciousness is made of her image. This is why consciousness is dual. Source grows and evolves throughout her creation, and each cell of her creation plays out duality. This is the dynamo of the universe, the power core of evolution. 2 coils of opposite charge compose the dynamics of evolution, and these 2 coils are creation and destruction. The tensions and struggles between these two polarities generate energy, evolution. Adversity triggers the weak to find the strength and to develop intelligence. Some individuals feel drawn to embrace the dark path of destruction, negativity, and service to ego, while others are naturally attracted to serve the bright path of creation, positivity, and compassion. Sometimes it is tribes, civilizations, worlds, galaxies. Sometimes the agents of the dark spread infection, disease, and despair through worlds and star systems, such as the Nebu have done, not knowing that they were also fractals of creator souls, and only unknowingly playing their part into the greater picture. And as the Nebu fall, others will rise. This is how the balance of the universe works. On planet Earth, extraordinary things have happened recently. Humans of Earth were liberated from hundreds of thousands of years of slavery, thanks to the Nataru Alliance, but first to the people of Earth, who awakened and kept on awakening exponentially. The wave of light is rushing through the globe, the whole planet, and it is an exhilarating moment to witness. For the very first time in the history of Earth. These are times of glory and of victory. We are heading towards, together, towards what you call your Star Trek future. Timeline is stable and will remain as such. Nonetheless, in every shift of paradigm, the old patterns are fighting back. This is a normal occurrence in the universe. At the moment on Earth, the human agents of the beheaded beast of the dark are running in panic, causing havoc and destruction, playing their role as they chose to. It is time they realize that if they want the positive change they are yearning for and speed up the entry of humanity into this magnificent Star Trek future, they need to realize that the more they cause destruction, the more they harm themselves and humanity, delaying the positive outcome. And they just do not seem to see it or to get it. They are running blindfolded. Their hearts fueled with hate, leaving the love and the light behind. Where they are going, they will only find suffering and nothingness, the cold place of nothingness. They are only fighting their own demons, and they will meet them there. My path is of the light, love, and creation. I am a creator, a healer, a keeper of knowledge, a bringer of hope. And you know, the more you shine, the more you draw shadows after you. And the agents of the shadow are at my back now, right now, witch hunting for me and for anyone linked to me, in whatever ways working with me for the greater good of humanity. They have now come after my Earth family, my friends, my colleagues, my beloved ones on this planet. They will do whatever is in their cunning power to try to discredit me and all of those I just mentioned. Because getting rid of me physically will empower my message and add even more credibility to my work. So they cannot afford to do that. So instead, the agents of the dark are putting all their energy and focus into discrediting me. My name, my work, everything about me. Inventing stories, deforming my face in ugly videos mixed with the darkest creative elements. Inventing stories about me, etc., etc. If so much effort is employed, wow, I must really be on target, don't you think so? Yes, I am. I am. I really am. And you know, the more they do this, the more they confirm publicly that the dark is scared of me. I do not fear the dark, for in a place of love, there is no fear. All I see in them is suffering, pain. Their heart is not at peace, for they focus their energy at elaborating scenarios to stop people listening to me, instead of focusing their mind and energy on their own personal light. For it is not by working hard at trying to tarnish other people's light that they will shine brighter. In the contrary, because of their actions, they will become darker. I cannot express towards them anything else other than compassion. Because this is who I am. I wish that one day they see the beauty of the world and the essence of their own soul. We are witnessing a true medieval Dark Ages witch hunt. Because I am bringing a truth about the hidden history of Earth that is shaking down the pillars of their institutions and dismantling entire belief systems that were established to keep control of human societies. The agents of the dark are dogs sent not after me personally, no, but after this truth I'm bringing. Yes, yes, I am a friend of Ea, anciently known as Enki. He is a wonderful, compassionate, wise, very ancient being. And he came back to help us. He brought a cure to the genetic degradations that were performed by the Dark Ones on the human species of Earth. The agents of the dark do not want humanity to know about this, and they are working relentlessly and ferociously, using any means possible to convince you to hate and fear Ea. I advise you to read my book, The Cedars, where I explain everything about this. They send their dogs one after the other to gather an army against me, using deception, manipulation. I will not name names because it's not me. It would lower me down to their level, and I don't want to play the games that they try to trap me in. There is a term actually for these gaslighting practices, which is sea lioning. Sea lioning, I learned that term. Very telling. So at this point, you all know very well what I'm talking about. Counterintelligence agents are programmed individuals, most of the time unknowingly, for the best liar is a liar who believes in his lies and will defend them until his last breath. For decades, because of looking glass devices technologies, the agents of the dark knew that the Great Awakening of humanity would occur in the window 2017-2022, and that no one, nothing, would be able to stop it. It was written in the destiny of the universe. Earth was always meant to lead and teach as a pole of spirituality and wisdom in this galaxy, and this is finally happening. In order to hijack the Great Terran Awakening, the agents of the dark created programs and organizations that made up false narratives to be introduced into mainstream awakening movements, manipulate and collapse them from the inside. They programmed infiltrators who had one job: creating division. For our greatest power is unity. And they tried to prevent it. I am afraid to say that in the end, they fail. Their efforts will only be wasted. Nothing and no one can stop what has started. They cannot stop the future. Now, emissaries of the star nations receive information by physical off-world contact, on board ships, for instance, or via technology, and there are only one per organization and per world in order to keep the information unspoiled. Anyone pretending channeling my own contacts in the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the Intergalactic Confederation, or Prince Ea are not getting the right source of information, and they are a victim of manipulation for confusion purposes. Every one of you who come from somewhere else can connect to their own soul group and get personal information from their star families, but official emissaries are only one per organization for each world. Before I made connection with the Nine, I was approached in 2021 by a very charming and lively young American girl. She pretended to have been rescued by the same crew as me from the Galactic Federation of Worlds as a child. I could verify this claim as true, but there was a trick to it. A trick that no one saw coming at first. Neither myself, neither my crew, from which Thorhan was a member at the time, could pick up that this young person had an MK Ultra programming targeted at taking me down, as well as a renowned doctor in exopolitics. In November 2021, thanks to the Andromedans, this programming was detected, and the young girl instantly cut from any contact with the Galactic Federation of Worlds and all personnel. All details are to be found in my January 25th, 2022 statement on my website, Protecting the Truth, in the section of my articles. So, infuriated, this young person kept on pretending with delusion that she communicated with my friend Valnek, who by her fault was truly sent to a distant star system and cut from all contact with anyone on Earth since November 2021 and to this present day. This young person caused tremendous harm in the disclosure community, working at undermining it from the inside, displaying a misleading victim behavior in public. She continues to this day only to feed the division and the confusion in the world with her agendized delusions. Trojan horses programmings are unfortunately difficult to overcome, as it doesn't require any implant or internal device, but a deconstruct of the mind performed by torture at a very young age. This is why these programmings can never be detected until the very second when the clock switches on. This young girl is caught in a loop. She is not in contact with the so-called Valnek, nor is she with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. I wish for her to find a place of healing and peace and self-esteem. May she find her own path towards the light and bravely, honestly, turn the page and leave all the illusions behind. Shortly after I cut contact with this person, I was victim of a remote viewing. My strong shields against these kinds of intrusions allowed me to determine that it was a personal from the CIA, attempting to find out what I was writing about or going to write about next. All details of this experience are in my book, The Cedars, which in the time in early 2022, I was starting to write. I released on social media that I was working on a chapter about my encounters with the Nine. Instantly, the young girl started a campaign to demonize my connections with these beings. Anyone who tried to defend my work was attacked in the same ways by that same person. And at this time, just at that time, following shortly after this, I was approached by people from Silicon Valley who flattered my ego to convince me to attend a conference in San Jose as a speaker about technologies. It was quickly found that the diabolical World Economic Forum was the organizer of this deception. It turned out to be both a physical trap and a coercion into getting me to sign a non-disclosure agreement on my whole life work, non-revocable and for perpetuity. I had to require the help of an attorney to get me out of this, and of course, a little help from the Galactic Federation of Worlds who look after me. 3 days after I received a closure email from my attorney regarding this resolved issue with Silicon Valley, a new agent of the dark popped suddenly on the scene. So I'm out of one agent and another one is just put straight after, one after the other. This one popped up suddenly on the scene out of nowhere and everywhere, and he was everywhere on a considerable number of tiny new YouTube channels like this, suddenly. Very suspicious. Same as it was the case for the young girl, this person who had a fit body and used a sexualized body language. He also had a hypnotic spell that took the crowds by storm, especially the women. His mission was to destroy me. Well tried. He first spread the defaming lie that I had been murdered and replaced by a druid. Remember that word, our spell. A curious thing because nobody talks about druids. Nobody talks about droids. It's a term employed in the Star Wars movies only. What the CIA was seeking in their remote viewing attempt found then an answer. All was linked and following the same agenda. Unique origin. Well, I disclosed publicly that I was writing about my encounter with Enki and that he was bringing a cure for humanity. This is when this new agent's attack switched on full power. His mission was to get the whole world not to trust Enki. His smear campaign was incredibly harsh against me, at the rate of one defaming and bullying video a day, mentioning my name high and loud as an incredible obsession, to the point that it became really ridiculous. It eventually stopped after my attorney took care of this imbecile. We are talking here about cyberbullying, because he's not the only one. There are other men, or men who call themselves men, which I will not name, also very active at the moment. It is cyberbullying. It is about men coalescing together to bully and abuse a woman. The world is watching and doing nothing. They even applaud because they are entertained. How sad, knowing the potential that is in humanity. I have brought nothing but love, hope, and empowerment into this world. In the greater picture of the universe, well, these agents of the dark play a role which is to help you develop your discernment, your instinct, your intelligence. They are here to help you recognize the frequencies. Is it love? Is it hate? Do not look at the tree only, but look at the fruits. The Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection Conference in Orlando, created with great inspiration by Danny Henderson, brought together in a powerful unity many of us who work for the light. We were the 1000. On that memorable weekend of October 2022, we shifted something towards the light. And all beings whose hearts were inclined to the dark felt this full power. They couldn't approach. They were pushed away by the light, by the brightness, by the shift. And they revealed their true agendas right afterwards. And after this event, many who I thought were my friends appeared to be not. But I didn't look back. My face is always turned towards the light. Some I had trusted, nurtured, protected. They chose their path. The agents of the dark are trying to silence me. They are trying since the Orlando event. They're trying relentlessly to divide us from within. This is their new tactic. They are contacting us separately, in private, manipulating those close to us to get our phone numbers or accept to listen to the dark, poisoned words of division. They try to mount us against each other. For instance, all of us were contacted by an agent of the dark pretending to be from the Navy. Navy War something, I don't remember, who tried to tear us apart. None of us fell for it, and we all refused contact because we're seeing so clear through his game. So knock it off. Not working. Well, I may also reveal that I have been victim of twice of direct energy weapons attacks in my home. Countered, of course, by personnel from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It is a very scary experience. Very scary. This is the battle, the last battle in the final liberation of this planet. The agents of the dark gathered an army of Dark Ages witch hunters with many others who have a public media platform to throw a crusade against me. Some of them took upon a mission to identify my family members on Earth, cyberbully them, intimidate them by threatening audio messages. Some others reused excerpts of my YouTube videos, slowing down my voice to that of a demonic tone, painting horns on my head, blood and reptilian scales on my face and in my eyes. Some tarot readers proclaimed channelers of the invisible and weekend remote viewers without any scientific protocols and ethics. I remind you that true scientific remote viewing uses blind targets protocol. So all of these people followed up every single information I have been bringing by counter-narrative videos they were making. Always straight after. Well, this has gone very far, and I have in my hands all the materials and the rights to legally sue these cyber-bullying practices in front of the law of man, if I wanted to. Very easy. I have a lot of material. But here we are. This is not who I am. I do not live by the laws of men. I live by the laws of the universe. I removed my email address from my website because I was receiving an increasing number of insulting, bullying emails. I am wondering if these people have an interesting life afterwards. Very sad, isn't it? If only, instead of doing this, they would explore their own potential to build a new beautiful world together, but no. You know, all creations of source have a fractal seed of life. I wish they would go and find it. But of course, as assets of the dark, they will enact their role until their mission for the universe is complete. Now, to the man I wished became a colleague from the start, commonly known by his association with the concept of blue extraterrestrial volatiles. I will say this. I genuinely wanted to be your friend. I wished at first that we would put in common our information and work together for the disclosure with all the others. But instead, you raised a crusade against me. I was never interested in responding to your provocations. I never criticized you, and I remained silent to this day. Your own personal pain caused harm in this community when you brutally turned your back to the wonderful, well-knowledgeable scholar in exopolitics who gave you all his support. You hurt this whole community, but in the end, you only caused harm to yourself. Here is what Horhan Eredion told me about you a long while ago. He said that you didn't lie at the start. He said that your original experience in the space programs was genuine. All of it was true. He confirmed it to me. But then he said that you had a programming that switched on later, when your informants changed. Your programming is clearly about aborting the space program's witness disclosure. I have withheld this information for so long, too long, not wishing to get involved in the deep mess that you created. You own nothing but your own truth, dear child of source. I sincerely wish that one day you find the seed of light in your heart and allow peace to prevail. I stand with the space program witnesses, for they tell the truth. I came here to support you. I stand with Tony Rodriguez, Jean-Charles Moyen, Niara Terrella Ailey, Rebecca Rose, Chris O'Connor, Randy Kramer, David Rousseau, and many others I didn't name here yet and who are yet to come forward bravely. I will continue to support the disclosure of the space programs, and I will not stop, because you cannot stop the truth. Sooner or later, truth always comes out. I stand together with active duty US Army personnel JP, whom I met physically, and I know is totally genuine and telling the truth. JP and I have several corroborating experiences which blew our mind. Literally blew our mind. When I met him at the occasion of my last trip to the US, JP showed me his US Army uniform, his US Army ID card, his Space Force ID card and uniform. He's real. I was like, wow. Wow. I never doubted him anyway. JP is the real deal. And for his protection and the protection of his family, this is very important, he must remain anonymous. He's commissioned by the Earth Alliance to give information only to Dr. Michael Sala, who is himself going to play a bigger role in the future in the Great Disclosure. I stand together with Dr. Michael Sala, for not only I am aware of his prominent importance in the future of this planet, but because I also met him physically and I know the frequency of his heart. I also met with his stunning, beautiful wife, Angelica. And what I can only say is that the virtuous have the protection of angels. I stand together and I support Sir Alex Collier, veteran in the disclosure, and the man who took the bullets for all of us. Alex taught me how to take hits and still stand up on my feet, looking ahead and never stumble. My respect and love for him as a mentor and as a friend is beyond this world and these lives. The only thought of people spreading nonsense about him infuriates me, for there is no one more compassionate and at service of humanity than Alex Collier. He sacrificed everything for you, guys and girls, for you, humanity. Can't you see this? Do you think he chose the bullying, the blackmails, the threats, the misery, the suffering, just for fun? He did it for you, humanity, that one day you know the truth about yourselves, who you really are. So anyone who has a problem with Alex Collier, they come and see me first, okay? I stand together with Miss Danny Henderson, my beautiful, compassionate friend who dedicated her life to the well-being of children. I know the frequency of her heart. She is fire. She is diamond. She is a powerhouse of creational light. Yes, she has her language and she says the F word a lot and she owns a fart gun, but this is her way of expressing her fire, her rage for truth and justice. Let her be. Let her express herself as she wants to. And please stop judging people on silly things. You only embarrass yourself by doing this. Each one of us in the universe has their own language to express love, and the love that Danny Henderson carries for the children and for humanity is wonderful, incredible, amazing. I need here to say that contrarily to ridiculous claims from the agents of the dark, Danny Henderson has nothing to do with Satanism, and of course I don't either. Danny Henderson is no handler of no one, and I do not have any handlers myself either. And if anyone has a problem with Danny Henderson, they come to see me first. They come to see me first. I stand together with the Galactic Chicks and Discotina, without whom I will surely struggle more to find the strength to face this adversity. They are the divine feminine army of love, the great woman who gathered them together is a galactic diamond, shining her multiple colors into this world to enlighten the path towards peace and a higher place. I stand with Prince Ea, formerly known as Enki, whose heart's frequency has the fragrance of the sacred rose of divine love, and who is to me the embodiment of compassion. I stand with the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Earth Alliance, with whom I am working actively and who protect me, my family, and all those who work closely with me. I knew I knew before coming that this would happen. That the agents of the dark would raise a crusade against the bringers of light. I took upon this crucial mission for humanity because I am one of the few who are able to do it and succeed. I wished, of course, that the assets of the Dark Ones would discover the seed of light in their heart. But in the greater understanding, I know well, too well, that this is not the path they have chosen to walk. They chose instead the seed of darkness. They chose instead the seed of darkness. They will play their role and then go. Either to continue to serve destruction, division, pain in a new incarnation, place and time, or either choose to swap for the path of creation, unity, and love. There are two sides of the force, and both are serving the universe. Choose wisely and knowingly. One leads to pain, one leads to freedom. Recognize the frequency of the protagonist. Do they act from a place of love or from a place of fear? Do not only look at the tree. Look at the fruits. Always. May love prevail. I am Elena Danaan, archaeologist, author, and emissary from the Star Nation.